Good evening, Forex traders out there. My name is Henry, CEO of HenroidFX Academy. Following a popular demand to talk about this challenge of risk-taking in Forex trading, and also considering the challenge of application of stop loss during trading, which has really affected a lot of Forex traders out there. And this afternoon I got a complaint from one of my students talking about having applied stop loss at one point or the other, and then gets taken off, and then he gets out of the trade, and then it's difficult coming into the trade again, believing the party is already on, and if he comes into it, that means he's coming in late. Well, it's a general challenge, but however, as a professional, there are ways to go about it. Forex trading is easy, but you remember it's a risk, and when you're taking your risk, you take your risk calculatively. And so I want to quickly talk about this in just a short video, less than 3-4 minutes. And so I'd like you to listen attentively and possibly take from the experience I have and apply it to your own trading too. As you can see, I have trade ongoing, and this is my stop loss, take profit here, which is a ratio 2-to-1. And then you see the BPA, which will be alerting me once it gets to this level, and then I can now apply partial close by breaking even to 0 points. Now, stop loss, I consider it very important, and that's why I consider the issue of risk worth talking about now. Like you just heard that sound, very soon I'll be breaking even. All right, let's go back to what we were saying. I consider risk to be a very important issue when it comes to Forex trading. Probably not so much of an issue if you are a longer time frame style trader like me, although sometimes I scalp too, as you see me do on a 5 minutes time frame. And also for those who are on the weekly or monthly charts, I think it won't be a problem, because your, what will I call it now, your stop loss levels are such that it will be very far from the point where you are entering into the trade. But if you're a day trader or you're a swing trader, then it certainly becomes an issue that you can't afford to joke with. Trust me on this. If you're a day trader, if you are a scalper and you do not use stop loss, then you know you're taking a clearly uncalculated risk, and anything could happen. You could have a spike and then your profits will be taken off, and in fact you could find yourself in a huge loss. Perhaps you placed a trade and then you walked out, you came back, and then you'll be surprised what you could meet. Now, I don't care what your percentage risk is per trade, as that is up to the individual trader. However, I suggest that you take 2 to 3%, which is quite common among successful traders. And I'm privileged to say like us, because over the years, I have been able to come to a point where I can say clearly, I have been able to overcome this issue of stop loss. It doesn't matter the risk you take. Stop loss is important, it is key. If you must reserve, if you must conserve, if you must keep your money, otherwise you lose it all. And remember, the Forex market has no mercy. It bleeds you when you are not careful. And so if you are careful, you're able to keep what you have and manage your trades and get the right, placement for your stop loss. This will ensure you stay in the game longer, at least beyond the 90 days rule. And so if you're able to beat the 90 days rule, then you're already a professional in the making. Yes, if you're able to beat the 90 days rule, you are already a professional in the making. Take note about that. If you want to reach 10% on a trade, that is up to you. Like some guys would do, making out $1,000 with just $100. I have no problem about that. It's okay if that's what you like. But I will say that it is very much in your interest to have a physical stop loss in place. Now this is a point where you will be taken out of a trade if something goes wrong. Now, just take for example this ongoing trade now. Look at the screen carefully, keenly. Now my stop loss is here. Imagine if I didn't put this stop loss and I just erased it off, and you only have the entry point and the take profit point as advised by my ATR 56 point, which is 5 pips. And then I go out to do something, probably something important, and by the time I return, you discover that there's a spike like you used to see with the US dollar quotes, and it goes beyond above my entry as against my sell order, and then a huge gap well above the entry. Of course, you know that's already a loss. Now if I'm using 2% risk, that could be a minimal loss compared to when I'm using 10% risk. Of course, you see that is times 10 the loss I would have made on a 2% risk trade. And so it is very important. Take whatever risk you want to take, but please, as a forex trader and a professional in the making, ensure that you apply the adequate level of stop loss. Usually the previous highest candle well above your entry, and then you take twice the risk. That's for your reward. So it's 1 risk ratio to 2 reward ratio, and for me that's fantastic. Or if you don't know how to do that, simply look at the ATR. As you can see here, this is 56 point, which is 5 pips, and so you move it from your entry point to 5 pips, or you make it 1.5, which is 5 pips plus 2, which is 7 pips, or 7.5. That's half of 5, and then you take it to 7.5 pips, and then, for example, I used 6 pips here, as you can see, and then my profit is put at 12 pips, I think so. Yeah, 12 pips. It's as simple as that. Ensure you apply the adequate trade management. I wish you the best as you trade, and ensure that you apply the proper risk management. I'll use the opportunity to invite you for our monthly Forex Master Class. Of course, if you have a job from 9 to 5 p.m. daily, like I do too, you can also trade with just little amount, for example in Naira, as little as 30,000 Naira, and you are sure of making a minimum of at least 5,000 Naira per day. Of course, this is at low risk if you follow through the master class, which I train students, I train clients for 3 weeks at a little fee between 40,000 and 50,000 Naira. Of course, it's acquiring the skill that will help you increase your money making stream, and that's important. Of course, in this time and era, it is key that you develop yourself and then you train yourself to make money. This is an advantage, and if you register, I can assure you after the training I'll still mentor you for about 3 weeks, and I have my own strategy. Of course, all my students have access to my strategy at the Forex Master Class, and I'll be there to prove to you that Forex is not only real, it is easy, it is accessible, and it is profiting. May the peace find your take profit level. Good luck and bye.